Haste has a voice. It says now or never. It says if you wait, you lose. It says pressure is proof that the door is closing. But many people have not lost opportunities because they waited. They lost peace because they ran before wisdom had finished speaking. This teaching will show you how desire becomes dangerous when it outruns knowledge. Hear the word from Proverbs chapter 19, verse 2. Desire without knowledge is not good, and whoever makes haste with his feet misses his way. I am King Solomon. I am not speaking to the part of you that performs wisdom in public. I am speaking to the part that chooses when the room is tense, the message is short, the bill is due, the child is loud, the meeting is awkward, and the heart wants relief more than righteousness. This is a royal teaching on the time standard. The point is not to decorate your mind with a proverb. The point is to let the proverb interrupt the pattern before the pattern becomes your future. Ancient wisdom understood something modern people keep forgetting. A life is not ruined only by large scandals. A life is shaped by repeated small permissions. What you permit under pressure becomes what you practice. What you practice becomes what people expect from you. So do not rush past the first phrase. The proverb is not only giving information. It is placing a guard at the entrance of your next decision. The first gate is the moment before reaction. In a rushed contract, the test does not arrive with trumpets. It arrives as fatigue, embarrassment, pressure, or the feeling that you deserve to answer sharply. Wisdom slows the hand before the hand becomes a weapon. At first gate, the soul is being educated. The lesson may look like a conversation, a bill, a hallway correction, or a message on a phone, but beneath it sits a question of government. Who will rule this moment? Consider the person who wants to be right more than they want to be clean. They may win the sentence and lose the room. They may prove the point and weaken trust. They may leave with the last word and still carry a smaller spirit home. Wisdom chooses a different harvest. It is willing to lose the theater of the moment in order to keep the future whole. It does not confuse noise with strength, speed with clarity, or sarcasm with intelligence. There is a quiet kind of power in choosing the answer before the fire chooses it for you. It feels small while it is happening, but it becomes large in the people who learn they are safe around your strength. The first gate is not theoretical. It is the place where your next 24 hours will either become cleaner or more tangled. Wisdom does not require you to fix every year today. It requires you to stop betraying tomorrow with the next careless yes. Mark the contrast. Folly wants this moment easier. Wisdom wants the future stronger. Folly wants to win the room. Wisdom wants the soul clean. Folly wants release. Wisdom wants fruit. The second gate is interpretation. In a relationship labeled demanded too early, the facts may be small, but the story inside the heart can become enormous. One person hears a delay and calls it rejection. Another hears correction and calls it attack. The wise person asks whether the story is true before obeying it. When second gate opens, the heart usually wants a shortcut. It wants to be understood without listening, protected without humility, defended without patience, and relieved without consequence. What kind of fruit can grow from that soil? Picture the private moment after the words leave your mouth. The room is quiet, but everyone has learned something. They learned whether your strength protects them or threatens them. They learned whether truth is safe in your presence. Royal wisdom is not fragile. It can stand inside disagreement without becoming cruel. It can correct without humiliating. It can refuse without despising. It can speak plainly without setting fire to the furniture. The person who learns this becomes trustworthy in tense rooms. People do not trust them because they are soft in the weak sense. People trust them because their strength has a bridle. The second gate is not theoretical. It is the place where your next 24 hours will either become cleaner or more tangled. Wisdom does not require you to fix every year today. It requires you to stop betraying tomorrow with the next careless yes. Mark the contrast. Folly wants this moment easier. Wisdom wants the future stronger. Folly wants to win the room. Wisdom wants the soul clean. Folly wants release. Wisdom wants fruit. Many people lose the path right here. They call the first impulse honest, but the first impulse is often only the loudest messenger. The loudest messenger is not always the truest one. Before you obey it, bring it under the desire with knowledge test. Take the free Solomon Standards assessment through the link in the description if you can already feel this lesson touching a pattern in your life. Do not wait for collapse before you let wisdom measure the standard. The third gate is public consequence. In a purchase made after a bad night, the issue is not only the decision. The issue is what the decision teaches everyone watching. A leader can teach courage or panic. A parent can teach safety or fear. A friend can teach truth or performance. By the time third gate is tested, the public moment is already carrying private practice. What have you practiced in secret? Have you rehearsed suspicion, complaint, haste, fear, or wisdom? A parent does not become gentle because the child finally behaves. A leader does not become wise because the meeting finally calms down. A spouse does not become careful because the conversation finally feels easy. Practice comes first. This is why the small hour matters. The car ride matters. The draft message matters. The second before the reply matters. The account balance matters. The breath before correction matters. Hidden practice becomes visible character. A wise person treats the hidden hour with honor. They know the crowd will eventually meet whatever has been trained in the quiet. The third gate is not theoretical. It is the place where your next 24 hours will either become cleaner or more tangled. Wisdom does not require you to fix every year today. It requires you to stop betraying tomorrow with the next careless yes. Mark the contrast. Folly wants this moment easier. Wisdom wants the future stronger. Folly wants to win the room. Wisdom wants the soul clean. Folly wants release. Wisdom wants fruit. Ask yourself a hard question. Where have people around you learned to brace before you answer? That question is not meant to crush you. It is meant to locate the place where wisdom wants to rebuild safety. A house becomes peaceful through repeated proof. One soft answer will not repair every old wound, but one soft answer can open a door. Then another can keep it open. Then truth can enter without wearing armor. The fourth gate is stewardship. In a leader hiring from panic, wisdom asks what will remain after the feeling passes. The answer may feel costly now, but folly is more expensive later. Wisdom counts both prices. At fourth gate, ask what story your answer will leave behind. Will it leave courage, clarity, responsibility, and peace, or will it leave embarrassment, distance, confusion, and fear? The future does not only remember what happened. It remembers how people felt under your power. It remembers whether your words made truth easier to receive or harder to trust. It remembers whether correction came with dignity. One answer can become a seed. One pause can become a shield. One humble sentence can become a bridge back into trust. Why would you spend that kind of power carelessly? The wise do not despise ordinary sentences. They know ordinary sentences become the climate of a home, the culture of a team, and the sound a soul expects when pressure rises. The fourth gate is not theoretical. It is the place where your next 24 hours will either become cleaner or more tangled. Wisdom does not require you to fix every year today. It requires you to stop betraying tomorrow with the next careless yes. Mark the contrast. Folly wants this moment easier. Wisdom wants the future stronger. Folly wants to win the room. Wisdom wants the soul clean. Folly wants release. Wisdom wants fruit. Before we move to the framework, slow the lesson down into the ordinary rooms where it will have to live. Wisdom that only sounds beautiful while you listen has not yet become wisdom. It must survive the kitchen, the desk, the hallway, the invoice, the bedroom, the car, and the moment when your pride has already prepared a speech. A person may hear a proverb and agree with it sincerely, then fail it before sunset because agreement is not the same as preparation. Preparation means deciding beforehand what kind of person you will be when the old pressure returns with a familiar face. Who are you when someone misunderstands you? Who are you when the money feels late? Who are you when the person you love says the sentence poorly? Who are you when correction touches the place where pride has been sleeping? These questions are not meant to make you afraid of yourself. They are meant to bring the hidden pattern into the light. Once the pattern is in the light, it can be governed. While it remains unnamed, it keeps pretending to be your personality. The mercy of wisdom is that it gives you a way to interrupt the pattern before shame becomes necessary. You do not have to wait until another apology is needed. You do not have to wait until another bridge is damaged. You can let the proverb stand at the door before the old habit enters. That is why this teaching is practical. The next test will probably not arrive looking spiritual. It may arrive as a notification, a tone of voice, a question from a child, a delay in payment, a calendar conflict, or a person who speaks before thinking. If wisdom is not ready for ordinary things, it is not ready for your real life. So let the proverb become a tool in your hand, not a decoration on your wall. Carry it into the next conversation. Carry it into the next purchase. Carry it into the next correction. Carry it into the next silence. Ask whether the fruit you are about to plant is fruit you are willing to eat. The royal person is not the one who never feels pressure. The royal person is the one who refuses to let pressure become king. Stay with that sentence until it becomes uncomfortable. Pressure wants a crown because pressure promises immediate relief. It tells you that the reply must be sent now, the purchase must be made now, the defense must be spoken now, the decision must be forced now. But relief is a poor architect. It can build a shelter for 1 hour and leave ruins for 1 year. Wisdom has a slower sound. It asks for one clean breath. It asks for one honest look at the fruit. It asks for enough humility to admit that the first answer may not be the best answer. That small delay is not weakness. It is a throne room where the heart decides who will govern. Some of you already know the exact place this belongs. You know the conversation where your voice gets sharper. You know the account where desire talks louder than planning. You know the family member whose tone makes you return to old armor. You know the meeting where you perform confidence while fear writes the script. Bring wisdom there first. Do not wait until the damage is done and then ask wisdom to become a cleaning crew. Let wisdom become the gatekeeper. Let it stand before the sentence, before the yes, before the purchase, before the accusation, before the silence becomes punishment. A life becomes royal through repeated governed moments. Not through appearance. Not through volume. Not through winning arguments. Through the quiet authority of a soul that can feel pressure without giving pressure the keys. Now use the desire with knowledge test in plain language. Ask what pressure is asking from me. Ask what fruit this answer will grow. Ask what wisdom would choose if nobody applauded it. Ask what my future self will wish I had done today. Some will object and say, does wisdom mean I must become passive? No. Wisdom is not passivity. Wisdom can confront, correct, delay, refuse, and walk away. But wisdom does not let pride dress itself as strength. It does not let fear dress itself as discernment. It does not let appetite dress itself as freedom. For the next 24 hours, choose one exact place where slowing desire before haste makes the wrong road feel urgent. Not a general intention. Name the room. Name the person. Name the habit. Name the sentence. Then decide the wise response before pressure asks you to improvise. If the moment comes and your heart rises quickly, pause long enough for wisdom to enter the room. A pause can be a gate. A softer answer can be strength. A delayed purchase can be protection. A received correction can be mercy. A truthful conversation can become healing instead of war. This is not small. The future often turns on moments that looked too ordinary to honor. The sentence you did not send. The invoice you checked twice. The apology you gave without decorating it. The silence you chose until your spirit cooled. These are bricks in the house wisdom is building. Get the Royal Scrolls collection through the link in the description if you are ready to build a full system around these standards. Do not collect inspiration. Build government. Let wisdom rule speech, money, time, relationships, heart, humility, work, integrity, peace, and generosity. I am King Solomon. Let Proverbs chapter 19, verse 2 become a gate in your next ordinary moment, because ordinary moments are where the future quietly learns your name. Carry Proverbs chapter 19, verse 2 into the room where this will actually be tested. Not the imagined room where everyone is calm. The real room, where the phone is bright, the calendar is crowded, the money feels personal, and the old habit speaks before the wise part of you has stood up. If this sounds severe, remember what is at stake. Time standard is not a religious label pasted onto ordinary life. It is a fence around the future. It keeps one tired evening from becoming a pattern, and one pattern from becoming a reputation. The first concrete place is a rushed contract. Notice how wisdom refuses to despise that small place. Heaven often trains a person in rooms that do not look important. A kitchen can become a school. A desk can become an altar of honesty. A message can become a gate. The second concrete place is a relationship label demanded too early. There the heart usually wants speed. Speed feels clean because it ends the discomfort. But speed can also hide immaturity. Wisdom is willing to remain uncomfortable long enough to choose what will still be clean tomorrow. The third concrete place is a purchase made after a bad night. Ask what people will learn about wisdom by watching you there. Will they learn that truth comes with dignity? Will they learn that pressure can be governed? Will they learn that peace is stronger than performance? The fourth concrete place is a leader hiring from panic. This is where the lesson stops being content and becomes obedience. You do not need a dramatic sign. You need one governed action in the exact place where slowing desire before haste makes the wrong road feel urgent. A useful question is this. What am I about to normalize? Every repeated response becomes a teacher. Repeated hurry teaches panic. Repeated harshness teaches distance. Repeated secrecy teaches fear. Repeated wisdom teaches the people around you that righteousness is not only spoken, it is practiced. Another useful question is this. What will this cost if I do nothing? Folly often feels cheap at the beginning because it asks for only one sentence, one click, one excuse, one indulgence, one silence. Later it sends a larger invoice to the home, the account, the team, or the soul. There is also mercy in this. Wisdom does not expose a pattern only to condemn you. Wisdom exposes a pattern so it can be interrupted. If you can see the gate, you can guard it. If you can name the pressure, you can stop treating it like destiny. The person listening right now may already feel the exact sentence they must not say. That awareness is grace. Do not waste it. Write the better sentence before the old one asks to be used. Practice it until it sounds possible in your mouth.